Shalom, everyone. It's Avi Lipkin.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Shalom.
Yes.
Okay. Shall I start?
Shalom.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Shalom to
Yes.
everyone. I am here in Tallahassee, Florida. Yesterday was kind of a crazy day, or actually Sunday was a crazy day. I had two very important churches in Southern Virginia, and then I yesterday drove back to Charlotte, caught a flight to Orlando. My car's in Orlando, so I got in my car and I drove about 4 hours, 5 hours. So I'm now in Tallahassee. I have about 4 more hours to drive till I reach Louisiana, and then I'm going to meet Jim and Penny Caldwell, who all of you have heard of. Anyone who has not heard of, speak up, and I'll tell you who they are. Does everyone know who Jim and Penny Caldwell are?
I do not.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, these people are very important people. Yes?
I don't know who they are.
Okay, they are very important Christian people. He works with the gas company or the electric company or both, I don't know. And he spent 12 years in Saudi Arabia working for the gas and oil and electric company there in Saudi. And he and his wife on their free time would go driving off into the desert. And they actually are the ones who I don't want to say they found Mount Sinai. Everyone knew that it was Mount Sinai, but they were the ones who made the whole subject very international. And then I met them and it drove me crazy to hear about Saudi and about Mount Sinai and what Moses and Joshua, all those ancient people did there. Anyway, so I am going to be driving to a place called Slidell to meet with them and have lunch. And then that's 4 hours driving. And then after that, I have about another 6-7 hours of driving on to Dallas. And Yaakov, my son, arrived. He's in the hotel. He will be in the hotel in a few hours. So I'll be joining him. And then I'll have 10 days with my son, Yaakov, which will be very nice. And we have lots of meetings and things set up in Dallas, Fort Worth, and in Houston, maybe Oklahoma also. So we'll take it easy. I mean, for me, taking it easy is marathon running. But so we're in a very, very interesting few days, and but I wouldn't miss this YouTube, this Zoom for anything. And anyway, I'm sorry that it's in a hotel and so we don't have a better connection. I hope the connection works the whole hour. And then I have another Zoom with Brant Fricker in Odessa, Texas. I'll be seeing him on this trip also, God willing. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I can't see you on this Zoom this time. But keep yourselves muted. Until you want to ask a question, then, interrupt me and go ahead and ask the question. To give you an update on what's going on, I think it's fair to say that most of the attention is on internal politics in Israel. Will the ultra-Orthodox and others bring down Netanyahu's government in a no-confidence vote? I think the answer is no. But it seems that Netanyahu has been in power 3 years. This is a remarkable achievement. The ultra-Orthodox are not happy with him because they want to get a total exemption for yeshiva students not to go to the army. And this is chafing at the rest of the population. So I don't know what the showdown will look like. But I'm here in the States now. I've got work to do. I was in Israel for 2 years, and I live on a pension. I don't really need money for myself. But we're going to have elections in a year for sure, God willing. We need money for the party, and so I have to come to the States, give lectures, collect monies, and I've been successful the first 2 weeks, and stay another 6 weeks. and then go back to Israel. And I'm going to start campaigning already. At the beginning of August, I'll be back in Israel and start campaigning for the next election, slowly, measuredly, with meetings in different Christian and Messianic spheres. And you cannot start campaigning just before the election. You have to already start making your mark. And that's what I'm planning to do. Regarding Gaza, as you know, I think it's fair to say we have basically ground Gaza down by 90%. And so the Israeli soldiers are working very hard to destroy the tunnels, destroy the infrastructure of Hamas, and most important of all, to get our hostages out, those who are alive. There are 23 who are alive. Get them out and get the bodies of those who are dead back to Israel. So we have to be very careful because the Hamas has said the moment we get too close, they will execute the hostages. This is a crazy, crazy terrorist group. They're like Nazis in 1945. Nazism had to be completely vanquished in 1945. Hamas has to be completely vanquished. So I'm very excited that I see God's work. I mean, we did not want October 7th, but October 7th was basically the green light to go in and finish off Gaza once and for all. Then Hezbollah joined the fray. We got to finish them off. They're also 90% finished off. Then the government of Bashar al-Assad in Syria fell without a shot. And now Israel is consolidating its positions in Syria because we have to protect the Druze, we have to protect the Christians, we have to protect all these groups that are being murdered now by the ISIS groups and by Julani Ahmed al-Shara. That's Syria. The Houthis have been pretty much ground down, but they're going to keep firing missiles because they're nuts. And of course, the most important part of the jigsaw puzzle is Iran. I think it's fair to say that I'm happy that President Trump is president. I'm happy that he is in good relations with Netanyahu. I'm happy that the Israeli military is working very closely with the American military. And I think we're going to be hearing good news very soon. I don't think there will ever be an agreement with Iran, but I think we're going to see a revolution and the Iranian government will be overthrown. The nuclear project will be overthrown. And I think President Trump, at the end of the day, will not have his face on Mount Rushmore. He will have a whole mountain to himself. I'm very, very happy that President Trump is president. He has a very, very hard uphill battle to defeat the Democrat crazies, the one world government crazies. America still is on the precipice financially. It's inching its way back little by little under Trump. There's a lot of work that still has to be done. But I think President Trump is the right man in the right place at the right time. And so all I can say is all of us have to do our work for God and for Israel and for the U.S. And of course, you Brits have a big job to do to get rid of that Keir Starmer and bring in a conservative government again. This is crazy what's going on in England. And I'm very happy that I've got Angela and I've got Helen Lenine and I don't know who else is from Britain who is listening. So anyway, the war between Russia and Ukraine is continuing, maybe escalating. I don't know how the Russian people just take it and take it and take it and let their hundreds of thousands of Russian boys get killed needlessly in a stupid war by Putin. And of course, he's killing hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, which is crazy also. One of the reasons for creating the European Union was that white Christian Europeans should not be slaughtering each other. It was enough, 2,000 years. And it worked for a while. But now it seems Putin, the so-called Christian, is killing Ukrainian Christians. And I don't know. I wish this war were over quickly. Quickly, it won't be over, but I wish the Ukrainians success. And I wish the Russians success. The first success of the Russians is to get rid of Putin and bring in a leader who will lead them to Western democracy. but it seems this is very, very much contrary to the Russian ethic and 1,000 years of Russian history. They never had a Magna Carta. They don't know what controlling the monarch is, controlling the dictator. So all I can say is the only country in the world that should rule the world is the United States of America, together with its allies, if it has allies, and that Judeo-Christian Western civilization and democracy will reign supreme. And of course, in Israel, it will be through the Judeo-Christian Bible Bloc Party. Questions? I know Lori's always the first with a question.
I don't have to be first.
Well, you know, for 2 years, you've always been first.
Well, what are your thoughts on this upcoming meeting of the different countries to vote on the two-state proposal?
Well, you know, I always say that, you know, if somebody goes to an insane asylum to visit somebody who's mentally ill, I don't know if you're going to be able to cut any business deals with somebody who's in an insane asylum because they're all psychotic and crazy. Anyone who believes in a two-state solution is psychotic and crazy. And so I think Netanyahu is the right man in the right place at the right time. And he's not psychotic and he doesn't do stupid things. So I'm hoping that this thing will be made short shrift of, because there can be no Palestinian state if it's a Nazi state. And as long as Islam is the religion, it'll be a Nazi state. So goodbye, Palestinian state. Did I answer your question correctly?
Well, I was just thinking of the specific countries involved. I think it's France and the UK and maybe Saudi is in there.
Yeah, let them set up a
Meeting this week.
Palestinian. Let them set up a Palestinian state in those countries. You know, I'm saying that.
Right? It's on them to do that. They should do it.
That's right.
Excuse me, I missed you. What did you say on that?
Oh, I didn't know I was on. I said you're right. That if they're telling you to form a two-state, they should do it in their country. I was just agreeing with you.
So, well, anyway, so listen, everything is in God's hands. England is being conquered by Islam. France is being conquered by Islam. I think Saudi Arabia, which is already the heart of Islam, is going to be overthrown by even more crazy ISIS-type groups. And in the end, they're going to take over Jordan, and in the end, they're going to attack Israel. So I think you can understand why I'm one of those people who says we need as much immigration as we can get. If we can get 10 million immigrants, of which a big percentage is Christian or non-Jewish, that's fine with me. And, you know, Messiah is not coming back or coming for the first time, only for the Southern Baptists. He's coming for Jews and Christians and anyone who will accept him. By the way, I love the Southern Baptists, but I'd love to pick on them. Any more questions?
I have a question for you. It's about the U.S. though. Can I kind of segue for a second? What are your thoughts?
Hey, you're the boss.
Okay.
You're the hostess.
All right, I'll take that. What is your take on these riots right now? And I only ask because they're affecting us. Like, they hit Austin last night. I know they hit Dallas last night. I was following. There's actually a registry online. So like, I think there's a nationwide one on the 14th. But I mean, like little clusters are popping up already. Any thoughts on that? Or I know there's like so many layers to that. They're funded, they're organized. I just think that, I don't know, is this only the beginning? Is this let the games begin? What do you think?
Let the games begin.
I'm just saying.
Avi, that's Megan speaking to you, by the way.
Hi, Megan.
Hey, Avi.
Anyway, listen, I have been talking about civil war for a long time. This is a call for public disobedience by the left. It's basically a call for civil war. And I think all the, I hate to say it because some of these militias are anti-Semitic, but I am calling on all the militias to rise up and defend the country, defend the states, defend the cities, and to, if necessary, put down with violence these people on the left who are coming with violence and believes in lies and violence. And so, I'm here in the States. Rachel was saying to me, it's better that we live in poverty in Israel and that you do not go to the States and risk your life in a civil war. But I think we have all seen this civil war coming, things on the walls. And I think President Trump will rise up to the occasion. And just as I say, Netanyahu will rise up to the occasion. President Trump will rise up to the occasion. And these crazy left-wing idiots will have to be suppressed. I pray that there won't be too much killing, but there are so many crazy people out there on the left. And they're going to have to be brought under control. The problem is that, as you all know, many Jewish people are Democrat and left-wing. And they're in the vanguard of the Democrat Party. So this is going to create a backlash against American Jews, even though there are 1/3 of the American Jews are pro-Trump. So I'm praying for America. I'm praying for the Christians. I'm praying for the Jews. I do not want a civil war, but this rot, this gangrene. These people are gangrene in the body of America, and they must be healed. They must be taken out.
Couldn't agree more.
I didn't hear you. What is it?
Oh,
Avi,
I was just saying I couldn't agree more. Oh, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
no, sorry, Megan, I didn't mean to butt in.
No, you're good, ma'am.
I was just going to add something to what you were saying. I was listening this morning to reports that there's a group called Indivisible that are behind these riots, and there's actually been advertisement for a certain type of male to come forward, and they're being paid $6,500 to $12,000 per week if they will participate. So there's somebody behind this.
Yeah, I saw that as well, Angela.
That's exactly why I was thinking possibly Soros, Angela. But I don't know, Avi. What do you think? Does this sound like Soros to you?
Qatar, the ones who bought Trump a plane, and Trump came back with $5 trillion. But Islam is against America. Islam wants to bring America down so that it can be brought back up again as an Islamic country like England and France. I mean, we're losing the war. We are losing the war with Islam because the leaderships in every country are bribed and they don't want to say bad things about Islam. But deep state and Islam are working together, at least for now.
I was thinking that very same thing.
It's very curious. And also, I read there's a 13-and-a-half-year-old Israeli boy who's been duped by an Iranian agent who's contacted him asking him to carry out several things within Israel, and they've paid him money. One of the things was spray graffiti in Tel Aviv, and another thing was photograph the Iron Dome. Obviously, Shin Bet have noticed, and he's been questioned and his family. But it seems that Iranians are increasingly trying to entice people to engage in this kind of activity within Israel. So what is to stop them from doing that in other countries? I know in Britain there was some Iranians arrested a few weeks ago. We haven't heard anything more about it. So they're out there, and they're definitely up to no good.
And by the way, when you say Iran gave them money, where did Iran get the money from? Iran was bankrupt. And it was Biden and the Democrats who gave billions of dollars to the Iranians to do these things.
Mm.
So these Democrats are completely stark raving mad. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's looking increasingly like neo-Marxism has addled the brains of many.
By the way, Marxism is totally contrary to Islam, and Islam is totally contrary to Marxism. But together, they are
Yes.
united in their hatred of the Jews and in their hatred of the Christians and in their hatred of Western civilization and democracy.
Yeah, well,
Black Lives Matter was founded under Marxism as well, which is also tied to the Palestinian. It's Megan. I was just saying the Black Lives Matter movement. I believe the founder, also they have ties to Marxism as well, and then they also ingrained themselves in the Palestinian movement. So it's all intertwined. It's all connected.
Listen to me. Black Lives Matter was funded and founded by Islam, by the Islamic Jihad. And these people hate the Jews. You know why the Jews should die? Because the Jews support abortion. And which children are the ones getting aborted? Black babies.
Oh, shit.
And so the Jews are guilty of genocide against the black nation. That's what the blacks are saying. And also Jews own a lot of slums. And so the blacks who live in the slums say the Jews are sucking the blood of the black people. There's so much anger out there. I mean, it's all nonsense, but the anger is there, and everybody is armed. And instead of working with the right-wing militias, the Jews say, no, we don't like the Christians. I mean, we Jews should be the smartest people in the world, according to what God says, but we became the stupidest people in the world. I'm ashamed. And do you think anyone in Israel will listen to me? Only a few people listen to me in Israel. I have a big job in front of me with my party, because my party's first work will be education, to educate these crazy people in Israel. So, the secularists don't want to know about Judaism as a religion, and the religious don't want to hear anything outside of the Talmud. So they're completely deaf, blind, and dumb. Terrible. I'm very frustrated. But then again, I'm here in the States making my income from the fact that everybody's dumb, I mean, that these Jewish people in Israel don't want to know anything, and I can't even get a job in Israel. A prophet is now without honor except in his home and in his country.
Yeah.
They say to me in Israel, oh, you want to go to America because you love the glory that Christians give you. And I said, yeah.
Yeah, at least we listen to you and appreciate you and thank God for you.
Thank you. You know what it says in the New Testament? Even if you have to witness to only one person, you have to do it.
Amen. Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I'm not preaching to one person. I'm preaching maybe to two, maybe three. All I can say, thank God, I'm still alive. I'm still healthy. I'm here in Florida, getting ready to drive to Texas. Sunday morning, I'm having breakfast with Lori and Joanne. Hopefully, Yaakov will wake up and come with me. So good to be back in the States.
Good to see you back over there, Avi, after all
Yes.
this time doing what you do, and it's good to see. I'm glad.
Yes, me too. I may be going to Colorado. I haven't been in Colorado like in 20 years. So it'll be interesting for me to go to Colorado.
Avi, Laura's asking in the text if you'll send out emails with your schedule so that people can know where to see you in person.
No, I don't do that, because if people know where to see me, all I need is one Muslim with a gun and I'm finished.
Then people know where to see you. If people know where to see you, then
Well, no, listen, I go to churches and I go to groups that I don't publicize. It's the regulars who go to the meetings, and that way I stay safe.
It makes complete sense.
You know, I have to tell you that I was in Switzerland in a number of times, but in 2002 I was there 20 years ago, and my wife was at work at the radio, and I was in Switzerland, and one of her co-workers said to her, "Rachel, come quickly. Look at the computer. Your husband's face is on the computer. He's on the first page of Saudi Arabia's biggest newspaper. And they say he is a senior Mossad officer sent by Jerusalem to mobilize the Christians to fight the Muslims." Now, to mobilize the Christians and fight the Muslims, yes, that's my aim. But I am not Mossad. I wish I were. If I were Mossad, and I'm 76, I'd be having a very fat pension salary, and I wouldn't have to come to the States anymore. Maybe that's why God keeps me poor. If I'm poor, I keep working, like the ever-ready battery bunny, you know.
So Laura's also asking in the text about the epic city outside of Dallas that they're trying to build.
Well, I don't know. You know, I have to tell you, there's a joke, a very arrogant Texas joke. I think I told you this joke. Three guys are in an airport in Odessa, Texas, and there's one is a Native American, the other is a Muslim, and the third is a Texas cowboy. And the Native American looks out, ponders over the horizon, and says, "Once we were many, now we are few." And the Muslim says, "Once we were few, now we are many." And then the cowboy opens one eye, puts his Texas hat back, and says, "That's because we ain't played cowboys and Muslims yet." Very arrogant joke, because I don't see the Texas Cowboys really doing it yet, except playing baseball. So, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very concerned about the civil war. There's so much rotten thinking or lack of thinking by the left, and I don't know what to tell you. You know, I can't go to a synagogue and say these things. Jews don't want to hear any of this. They are in total denial. But then maybe that's part of God's plan, to get the Jews and their Christian spouses to move to Israel.
Well, that's happening already in England. Apparently, lots of Jews are making Aliyah.
Yes, and France and other countries. See, but then the question is, what do we do with the Christians? In other words, if a Jew makes Aliyah, terrific. But if the Jew is married to a Christian man or woman, and the children are Christian, and the rabbi said, "Well, we don't want them in Israel," what are we going to do? Keep them out?
Sure.
So you understand that the Bible Bloc Party, God willing, will get elected into the Knesset. We're going to have a very big job on our hands, and we're going to be persecuted.
But any nation that loses
There's
its...
a rabbi.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the police arrested a guy in Jerusalem for trying to burn down the house or the synagogue of Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, who's one of the sons of the famous Ovadia Yosef. And I have to tell you, this guy hates Christians, hates Messianics, hates Jews like me, who have a reform and conservative background. And there are a lot of people in Israel that get fed up with this. And so some 20-year-old guy went and threw I don't know if he threw a firebomb, but he tried to burn down the synagogue of Yitzchak Yosef. And we have a bunch of people, a lot of people in Israel who are Taliban or Orthodox Jews. And if the rabbi says kill someone, they'll go ahead and kill him. It's like Iran.
That's shocking.
Yeah, it's all just gone crazy, eh? The apathy and I don't know, people like zombies and inability to think, inability, etc., etc. Oh my word.
Where? I see your name
Yeah,
popped up. I don't see you. I don't see anyone, but I saw your name popped up. Good to hear from you because I haven't
yeah.
heard you in many weeks.
I know I've been ill. I've had a hernia operation. I had all sorts of things. I was in the UK and Holland, so I've just been, yeah, busy either traveling
God,
or in pain, and now I'm back.
God bless you and keep you healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, Avi. You too. Nice to be back.
Good, good. The next few weeks, God willing, I will be doing these Zooms from the United States.
Amen. So good. I'll be praying
Yeah.
for you.
Avi, can I ask you about Yasser Abu Shabab, who is currently leading the anti-Hamas militia in Gaza? I don't know anything really, but I was reading in the Centre for Peace Communications that they've done a little piece on him saying he's part of the Tarabin tribe, one of the largest in Gaza, and that he was previously imprisoned by Hamas for criminal activity, drug trafficking and something. But he escaped from a Hamas prison due to the Israeli airstrikes. And now he seems to be garnering a bit of a following within Gaza against Hamas. Um, do you know anything about what he perhaps his ambitions are, or what they're hoping to achieve, or where you think this might be going?
Well, the question is, what is evil and what is less evil and what is more evil?
It's,
At this point, what we know is any enemy of our enemy is our ally. If this guy is against Hamas, I mean, we might get him later, but at this stage, let him work against Hamas. It's like, God forbid, if somebody has cancer and they give him chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is poison.
Mhm.
And the question is, does the chemotherapy kill the cancer first or does it kill the patient first?
Mm. Well,
So this guy's like chemotherapy for Hamas.
yeah, yeah. But my observation, my thoughts would be that, oh, very well, one of the biggest families within Gaza, but still not saying where the hostages are, none of them. So, you know, it's all very well for these nations to say we need a two-state solution as a solution to this, but they've had a state, and look what they did. And
Exactly. Exactly.
and I understand from some of the conditions that the UK are asking for a two-state solution would be totally unacceptable to the Palestinian Authority or anywhere else or Hamas. So it's just doesn't. It's just words, meaningless words. There's nothing behind it. No real intention behind it other than to denigrate Israel in some way and keep them looking as though they're the enemy of peace.
Correct. Listen, I have to tell you, American politics, Canadian politics, British politics, French politics have one thing in common, and that is that every few years there's a change of the guard, a change of parties which are in power. And what Keir Starmer may say today, tomorrow, maybe another Boris Johnson type figure will pop up or Winston Churchill figure and will reverse course completely against Islam, especially if the Muslims carry out terror attacks on English soil. The same with Canada. We had Stephen Harper, who was Prime Minister of Canada, a Christian, a wonderful, wonderful leader. And because of internal political reasons in Canada, they voted him out and they brought in Trudeau. And
Yeah.
then in the United States, you had this business of the Democrats replacing the Republicans placing the Democrats. And so we go from a crazy a senile president like Biden to the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest president in American history. He's doing an impossible job, and we have to pray for him, for his life, that he shouldn't be assassinated. Because if Trump goes, even a good Republican cannot match Trump's capabilities. And if the Democrats come back, I mean, I'm telling you, we are so close to civil war in America. And this is something that cannot be tolerated.
Avi, it's Megan.
Yes.
Hey, question. Speaking of assassinations, sorry. Did you hear about the assassination attempt? Or I don't know if the president or the alleged candidate has passed away, but was it the Colombian presidential candidate who was shot in the head yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, Uribe.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's nothing new in the Latin American world.
Yeah, no?
People get assassinated. Mexico, people get assassinated all the time.
Fair enough. I didn't know if it was as like significant, like if he was going to be like a promising candidate for their future or anything of that nature.
Listen, today in any country of the world, any promising candidate has to go into hiding.
Fair enough.
Because in any country of the world today, you've got these terrorists who are global and they are driven and they are paid. The only one who doesn't get assassinated is me because I'm nobody. Nobody cares about Avi Lipkin. I'm poor. I've failed in 5 elections, and I don't give up. When I go to Connecticut, right, to the party for every election, there's one lady says, "Oh, here's the one that doesn't give up." Like nobody takes me seriously. Okay. Did I kill anyone? Did I steal? Do I have a criminal record? No, I'm just neutral. I don't have anything against me except myself. Questions, comments? Eric, tell Sarah I'm on my way.
I will. Nice to hear you're in the United States.
Yes, I'm in Florida, heading to Texas, and sometime next week, probably I'll be coming up to Oklahoma. I have to go over to Arkansas also, so I'll be in your neck of the woods.
That'll be good. It'll be enjoyable to see you. I've got a couple of bottles of Israeli wine in the fridge, so
I'm coming.
So a little bacon, no, just kidding.
You said make a comment, so I got a little comment. Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
Okay. You said that the United States needed a revival. Well, we had a lady come from England yesterday, preach at our church, and she said that I know they have a lot of problems with the Muslims, but she said revival is starting in England.
It has to. It has to. This is the logical reaction to the crazy Islamic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Christians don't have a revival, next generation will be Muslim.
Mm. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
Daniel
are
Chang.
indications of that revival.
What did you say?
I said there are some indications of that. Yeah.
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 Yeah, they've all been out in London. Daniel
Yeah.
Chant, Dominic, Virginia, Logan. And yeah,
Yes.
preaching the word of God, repentance and everything. It's been amazing.
Yeah, she did say London. She did mention London.
Yeah. Yeah.
London needs it badly.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
By
Abby,
the
can
way,
I ask you? Sorry, can I ask you a question?
I have to tell you, Claire, that Malta is the next country to recognize the non-existent Palestinian state.
Yeah, they've recognized it. Yeah, officially. Yeah.
So the Malta leadership is also mentally ill.
Yes. Yes.
Avi, can I ask a question? I was quite
Sure.
I was quite disturbed to hear about the cancellation of the Hayoval conference in Texas.
Right.
Did you hear about that?
Of course. But I don't care. I wasn't invited, so let them cancel it. You know, I can. Do we have time for me to tell you a little story?
Oh yes, loads.
Yes, please.
It's kind of this kind of thinking. I was in Daytona, Florida, some years ago, and the rabbi and it was a black pastor. We're very good friends, and they said, "Avi, would you come and speak at the Holocaust Day or Jerusalem Day?" There was some day that they wanted me to come down to Florida to speak. I said, "Sure." And so meanwhile, a Jewish woman my age from New York who was living in Florida asked if she could interview me. And so, I let her interview me, and she got my books. And in my red book, I say, if the Muslims say that they're going to Holocaust the Jews, then the Muslims should not come in whining, crying, and complaining when the Muslims get Holocausted. Anyway, I didn't say let's go Holocaust the Muslims. I said if they're going to Holocaust the Jews in Israel, they shouldn't come whining, crying, and complaining when it happens to them. And that's the story of the Nakba in the land of Israel. Anyway, then I got an email canceling the invitation because they said that there were going to be race riots in Daytona if I came to speak, meaning the Muslims were not happy that I was coming to speak in Daytona at this celebration. So it was canceled. And I don't know if it was a few days later, a few weeks later, a month or two later, I found myself in Missoula. Did you ever hear of Missoula? Missoula is in the state of, what state is it? I think it's Montana. And it's a university town. And it was approaching the Sabbath, so I went looking for the Jewish community, and I found a Jewish community because it's a university town, and there are Jewish students there. And the problem was the lady who leads the group had to be out of town that weekend, and she gave me the telephone and address of another lady, and I was told that she would host the meeting, and her last name was Arabic. And so I called her, and she was a Jewish woman from New York, but her husband was a Muslim from Egypt. And actually, they were divorced, but she kept the Islamic name. And they had a daughter. And the daughter, she said to me, goes to Egypt all the time to see her family in Egypt. What does that mean? She's a Muslim. Anyway, I drove to the house. And there was this big sign on the side of the house, "Stop the war." This was during the war in Iraq. So this must have been like 20 years ago. And I called her, and we were talking a little bit, and I was saying, "Oh, my wife is Egyptian also." "Oh, no, my husband was Egyptian Muslim. My wife was Egyptian Jewish. And my daughter goes to Egypt all the time." And I said to myself, I am not going to a meeting in her house because this daughter who's Muslim is going to call in all the Muslim guys to come and kill me. And so I got out of the house where I was being hosted, Jewish house, and I went to some motel on the other side of Missoula, Montana, and nobody knew where I was. I was in hiding because they said, "We heard about you in Daytona, that they canceled you." I mean, I'm a famous guy. If you Google me, you'll see crazy stuff about me. So, this thing of assassination is real. And so, I was very glad to still be alive. And here I am, I'm still alive. And I mean, my wife would still kill me, but other than that, I don't see anyone killing me. That's supposed to be funny.
So, Avi, what are your thoughts about that such an event did get canceled in a place like Dallas, Texas? That this state of affairs, that's the point we're at.
It means that Texas is not a Christian country anymore. Texas is a state where Islam controls the politicians, controls the banks, controls the media, and Christians talk about we ain't played cowboys and Muslims yet, but I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think Christians are ready to stand up and fight.
You mean it's too late?
Well, everything is relative. I mean, it's too late at this time, but if Muslims attack and kill 1 million Americans, no, it's not too late.
Oh,
Listen, there were 19 terrorists on 9/11 who hijacked the planes. 19. You have now 19,000 in America, all armed. Democrats don't see it. They don't want to see it. They're crazy. I think I call it the national AIDS, autoimmune deficiency syndrome. Democrats do not know what it is to protect the country. They don't have an immunology against enemy.
Avi,
No, I mean,
oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Okay. When you go to all your, in the States, your speaking engagements, are you sharing teaching
Right.
like you used to on Islam?
Yes, all the time. That's why I say I don't want anyone to publicize my meetings. And by the way, you honored me very much with your announcement that I'm coming to your group. But just be careful. Make sure there are people with guns in self-defense to protect me in case these crazies come to the meeting.
Yeah, well, that was a group last night about, I don't know, maybe 30 pastors that it was announced. So, yeah.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying people should not be squeamish about using weapons. People should have their heat. They should have their guns packed and ready to go.
Well, this is New York.
Listen,
we don't carry.
You have to, or you have to ask the local police if they have a Christian a policeman or who's ready to volunteer and be at the meeting. Somebody with a gun has to be there.
You know, I'm getting. Al says he will. Yeah, I don't trust anyone anymore. Unfortunately, I've been posting a few things on Facebook, and I have Christians coming against me. Christians in one of the groups that I'm in. So I don't trust anybody anymore.
Listen, all Christians are great people, but there are a lot of Christians who are just simply ignorant. And 99% of the Jews are ignorant. So I'm not picking on Christians. I'm saying that a lot of Americans know nothing about Islam. And my purpose is to teach. But if people are prejudiced and they say, well, we don't want to hear Avi because he's against Islam, maybe they should, especially those people, should listen to me.
yes.
Anyway, listen, I'm 76. If somebody kills me, I really don't care anymore because I've lived my life. I've done what I've done. And if God has somebody ready to follow and continue, great. Meanwhile, I enjoy life. I love you all. I love to talk to you. I love to see you. I love to go to meetings in your homes and in your meeting places. And then I go home to Israel and my wife picks on me. I say, I got to talk to you. She says, yeah, go do the dishes.
There's a group called Cops for Christ. I don't know if they're the local chapter will come to the meetings.
Well, I'm sure there are people in Long Island who are armed.
Yeah, I know at some of the churches they were armed after COVID and before COVID.
Right.
My son's a cop, and he's armed, but I doubt if he'll be on duty that night. I can check.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we're just going to pray Exodus 23:27 over you. I will send my fear before you. I will cause confusion among all the people to whom you come and will make your enemies turn their backs away from you. And I was just thinking about that and what you were saying before. And I'm wondering, regarding this militia in Gaza, what the PLO makes of this and whether they think the handwriting is on the wall for them, regarding the possibility of a similar pro-Israel Arab militia rising up throughout Judea and Samaria that could topple the corrupt, outdated Arab regime of Mahmoud Abbas. So Exodus 23-27 over that situation as well. What do you think about that?
Well, firstly, there is no such thing as a pro-Israel or pro-Jewish
No,
Islamic. There is no such.
not yet.
The questions that the Muslims ask: who do we hate more?
Mm,
In other words, Hamas says, we hate the Jews. This Shabab guy says we hate Hamas.
mm,
Hamas says we hate. The PLO says we hate the Hamas.
yeah,
But 70 to 80% of the West Bank, Samaria and Jerusalem Arabs, they are Hamas. So
right.
Israel does not have an easy job.
No, indeed. It does not. Yeah. Thank you, Avi.
My pleasure. I mean, it's hard to say a pleasure. When people say, "Oh, we enjoyed hearing your message," I answer them, "You're crazy. How can you enjoy such a terrible message?"
Because it's the truth, Avi.
Yeah, that's amen. Tell me, Helen, how are Christine and Peter? I haven't heard from them in ages.
Well, the last I heard from Christine last week, she's feeling better, but the doctors don't want her to travel yet. So she's just waiting for it to get the all clear for that.
And I am also waiting for them to get the all clear. I miss them very much. Tell them.
Yes. I think they're hoping to go to Israel for Sukkot.
Okay, good. I'll be home for Sukkot.
Brilliant. And Peter seems a lot better now, too.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope he doesn't have to come to Israel on board a ship.
No, I think he'll be able to fly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're hoping to be able to fly.
Good.
Is it about time for you to hit the road?
Actually, I have another Zoom in a few minutes with
no.
Brand Fricker.
You're
Brand
next.
Fricker. Well, Tuesday is Tuesday. Super Tuesday. Brand Fricker wants to set me up with someone who could actually fund the whole Judeo-Christian Bible Bloc Party, a very, very important Republican right-hand man of Trump. And so, Trump is, Fricker is an important guy, and this guy who he works with is important. So, listen, I'm okay. My son probably is landing any minute in Dallas already, and he's going to take a cab to the hotel. The hotel room is registered on my name, so he just has to get into the room, undress, and go to sleep. So Yaakov is coming. I'm going to be with him tonight, God willing, and but I don't miss these Zooms. And by the way, we're having breakfast with Lori and Joanne, so that's good.
I missed it by 2 weeks. I was there.
Yeah.
Come on back, Susan.
I know. That's one. Lori and I met.
Yes, I received all the dirty news about you.
Yeah, and Joanne. So this Zoom is amazing.
Yeah. The problem is I talked to my wife and she says, "I don't like the way you look. What's the matter with you? How are you feeling?" I said, "I'm okay." "No, you're not okay. Why is your eyes puffy?" I said, "No, they're not puffy. Your eyes are puffy. You're not eating the right food and I should be with you." I said, "Yes, so why aren't you with me?" "Oh, be quiet," she says. So we're good.
So she sends Yaakov to take care of it.
Oh, he's worse. My two sons are worse than their mom. So you'll meet Yaakov.
I look forward to seeing a photo or something on, I don't know where actually, somewhere.
If we take a picture, we can put it in the chat on Zoom here.
Yeah,
For
please.
sure. That would be nice. Listen, I'm living proof ham is kosher because I always have it up in front of the camera. That's funny. Okay.
Well, you take care of yourself, Avi.
I will. Thank
Listen
you.
to your
God willing.
wife.
Lori, maybe you could Zoom Sunday.
It's really logistically, we've tried that with a big group before, and it's just logistically not, doesn't work well. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I've tried it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like either have everyone on Zoom or have everyone in person, but when you try to mix half and half, it just doesn't, it hasn't worked well for us in the past.
Listen, I'm very honored that I've got 3 Brits on this Zoom today and Americans, and it's nice. It's good.
Yeah, we're honored as well,
Okay.
Avi. God bless you.
Thank you. So God willing, next Tuesday we meet again.